Welcome to another video. For ages, the history of mysterious Egyptian culture has captivated academics and enthusiasts, and today, groundbreaking genetic research helps us understand the racial identity of the ancient Egyptians. Join us as we examine the various ancestries of these exceptional individuals, disprove popular notions, and unearth the intriguing mysteries buried inside their DNA. Prepare to delve deeper than ever into the mysteries of ancient Egypt. Ancient Egyptian history is undoubtedly one of the most fascinating periods in human history, and it has been thoroughly studied for thousands of years. The racial makeup of the ancient Egyptians has long been the subject of discussion and conjecture. However, scientists have been able to shed some light on their ancestry using genetic data gathered from mummies, ancient Egyptian writings, and artwork. According to the historical information that is now accessible, ancient Egypt was racially varied and cannot be divided into just one racial group. Skin tone was not a factor in how the ancient Egyptians classified themselves. Instead, they distinguished themselves according to the locations they called home. Regarding the ancient Egyptians' origins, various theories have been put forth. While some have the opinion that they are from sub-Saharan Africa, others hold a different perspective. It's vital to remember that historically, there have been highly advanced African empires and kingdoms. Right-wing extremist groups have even sought to use blood type information to support their claims that ancient Egyptians were of Nordic descent. This is a fake, though. After overcoming initial challenges, extensive genetic study on ancient Egyptian mummies has shown that the Near East, particularly the Levant, was the region that shared the most genetic ancestry with ancient Egyptians. This region includes nations including Turkey, Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Syria, and Lebanon, as well as the Eastern Mediterranean. According to a study that appeared in the journal Nature Communications, modern Egyptians and people from Central Africa share 8% of their genome. This suggests that there is some genetic continuity between the local ancient and present populations. Given the complexity of ancient history and the limitations of the evidence, it is crucial to approach this subject with an open mind. Ancient Egyptians had a varied racial identity that was shaped by interactions with nearby cultures and is difficult to categorize into a single race. The Abuzer el-Melik community's genetic makeup remains largely constant. This shows that the population's genetic contribution was relatively small over the examined time, despite the numerous conquests and governing empires Egypt underwent. Due to Egypt's extreme weather conditions, which include high heat, high humidity, and mummification techniques including chemicals that lead to DNA deterioration, archaeologists have had difficulty obtaining undamaged DNA from ancient Egyptian mummies. But the Max Planck Institute-affiliated researchers, under the direction of Johannes Krauss, created accurate DNA sequencing techniques and carried out successful genomic testing on Egyptian mummies. The mummies examined in this study were from the Abuzer el-Melik archaeological site, which is about 115 kilometers, 70 miles, south of Cairo. Some of these mummies even had green skin, showing that they were devoted to the cult of Osiris, the god of the afterlife. Only 3 of the 90 mummies had full genomes, though the researchers were able to recover mitochondrial genomes from all of them. They gathered samples of soft tissue, bone, and teeth for analysis, with the majority of the DNA remaining in the teeth and bones. The samples were transported to a lab in Germany, where they were cleaned, disinfected, and sanitized using ultraviolet light. The scientists were able to sequence the genomes thanks to access to the preserved DNA. The researchers compared the mummified genomes to those of 125 Ethiopians and 100 modern Egyptians to get perspective. They were able to examine the genetic continuity and historical alterations as a result. According to the study, the Abuzer el-Melik community has maintained genetic continuity for the past 1,300 years. The New Kingdom, which started about 1388 BCE, produced the oldest mummy that has ever been sequenced. This shows that the population's genetic makeup remained largely steady during this time despite external factors like foreign conquests and governing empires. These discoveries advance our knowledge of ancient Egyptian genetics and provide insight into the region's population dynamics and genetic responses to historical occurrences. The history and genetic inheritance of ancient civilizations can be better understood by combining genetic data with archaeological evidence. Egypt, a society renowned for its wonders of architecture, pharaohs, and rich culture, reached the height of its majesty and power around 426 CE when it was under Roman rule. We now have the incredible chance to collect DNA information on ancient Egyptians, which opens up new research avenues. However, there are several restrictions that we must take into account. At the moment, all of the DNA information we have was gathered from a single location in Middle Egypt, which may not accurately reflect the population of ancient Egypt as a whole. Researchers hypothesize that people who lived in southern Egypt, nearer the interior of the continent, may have had a different genetic makeup. It is critical to comprehend these regional variations. Future research aims to date the first appearance of genes from sub-Saharan Africa in the Egyptian genome and investigate the causes of this phenomenon. They also want to find out where the ancient Egyptians came from. To do this, researchers must find ancient DNA from primordial eras, which will advance our collective knowledge. Researchers have shown that ancient Egyptians had a diverse spectrum of skin tones, including what we currently think of as white, brown, and black. However, there are still ongoing arguments on this subject. Some argue that the skin tones of Nubia, Upper Egypt, and Lower Egypt may have been distinctly different from one another. Additionally, given Egypt's long history, more than 3,000 years, ethnic changes over time are conceivable. Our film examining ancient Egypt's historical puzzles and genomic discoveries comes to an end now. We hope that this information was helpful to you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe to our channel to see more thought-provoking videos. I appreciate your interest, and we'll see you soon.